Hi, my name's Claire Snowden-Darling and I'm the Managing Director of a company called Balanced Wellness. And we're a pretty cool company, so check us out online. We're www.balancedwellness.co.uk. We're also on Facebook as Balanced Wellness UK, and we are also on Twitter, which is Balance without a D, Wellness. We have a team of fantastic practitioners. We're kinesiologists, and kinesiology is it's a really cutting edge alternative health therapy where we look at the body as a whole and we find out what the root cause of people's conditions are. So it's really dynamic and really fun, and people get better, which is really exciting. I'd like to talk to you about chemicals. So it's something that I'm really passionate about. I've got a personal story with chemicals, and being able to educate people about chemicals in their skin care products is something I'm deeply passionate about. My journey started about 20 years ago when one day I dried my face with a brand new towel, and the brand new towel was covered in the chemicals, the processing chemicals, and it literally just ripped my skin to shreds, and it just cracked and bled, and I never stopped having problems. And my allergies just developed and got worse and worse till it got to the point where I couldn't really use any cosmetics or any toiletries on my skin, and it was a really miserable place to be. I became educated on what are good things for the skin and what aren't. And obviously that ties in beautifully with what I do in my clinic, where I'm helping people to get well. So I'm talking to you because hopefully you're interested in health, or you're actually somebody who's recommending products to people and you want to know a little bit more when they're coming back and asking you questions about, well, what are parabens? And I hear there are some good parabens, and or what's propylene glycol, or you might just be hearing all these buzzwords about parabens and things like that and not knowing what they are. As I support my clients to get more healthy, it becomes more and more important to highlight the effect on the body of toxicity that's caused by chemicals in our day-to-day lives. And I've got a real bugbear about the fact that women are gorgeous, beautiful, men are too, but gorgeous. We're gorgeous. Bodies are gorgeous. And yet here we are slathering ourselves in product after product after product. And very often the effects of these products is highly, highly toxic. We use a little analogy in kinesiology, which is if you were to take a little bowl of hot water and you tried to put a little frog in the pot of hot water, little froggy wouldn't like it and he would jump out. But if you were to take a little froggy, put him in a pot of cold water and just very slowly heat up that water, he would be kind of like, this is nice. And he wouldn't notice that actually what's happening is he's boiling to death. And that's a little analogy that we use because it's what we're doing in our lives when we're surrounding ourselves with chemicals and toxins. Like, we don't notice that we're the little froggies boiling to death. For long-term health, reducing our chemical overload is really, really important. There are many nervous system conditions out there now. We've got, almost every day I hear about people who are diagnosed with MS, Parkinson's, motor neuron disease, cerebellar ataxia, the list is endless, even ME or depression. One of the best ways that we can, A, stop that happening, and B, stop it progressing, is by reducing our toxic load. So the main causes of toxic buildup are pesticides, home air fresheners, domestic cleaning products, and toiletries and cosmetics. And the average woman uses over 50 products a day. I mean, just think about that for a moment, okay? Because that sounds really, really high, but you get up in the morning and you clean your teeth. And then you're going to maybe use mouthwash, and then you're going to get in the shower. And in the shower, you're going to wash your hair. So shampoo and conditioner, bit of nice, shower gel, maybe some body scrub. Maybe you cleanse your face in the shower or scrub your face in the shower. And then you're going to get out of the shower, and then you're going to put on some body lotion, and then you're going to put on your deodorant, and then you're going to put on your foundation, and etc., etc., etc. So that's the average person, the average woman, which means that we have an exposure, if we're living that kind of lifestyle, of over 500 chemicals every single day. 500 chemicals being, exposed to our bodies. And that's before we step outside the door and we have to deal with the pollution. That's before we're eating food that's covered in pesticides. That's before we walk downstairs and we smell the Glade air freshener. It's not any one of these products that's the problem. It's the standard daily regime where we're taking all of these things and putting them together. It's the combination. And it's also about chemical interference. So these chemicals can interfere with each other, but equally, they can also interfere with our bodies. Chemical interferences in our bodies means that these chemicals start to disrupt our respiratory system, our digestive systems, our endocrine systems. Now, our endocrine is extremely important. It's our nervous system, it's our glandular system, it's our immune system. So, it's our adrenals, so we start pumping out loads of adrenaline, which means we get more stressed. It affects our thyroid, which affects our hormone cycle. It affects fertility. It's huge. What I'm talking about here is huge. So a lot of things like asthma, eczema, digestive issues can all come into being affected. The root cause can be chemicals. So the problem is getting worse, because I know in my day, I was lucky if I got my cousin's hand-me-down lip gloss, or, my mum's leftover bit of foundation in the pot, she's about to throw it out and she's got herself the new one. That's kind of how I grew up with makeup. But I know my 10-year-old, her most favourite thing is going to Claire's Accessories, and she gets really excited when she gets Claire's Accessories vouchers, and I'm like, oh no, here we go, everything's going to be glittery, and of course it looks fabulous, except it's going to be absolutely playing havoc with her body. These young girls are exposed to high levels of chemicals from a very, very early age. And that's very interesting in itself, because I've only just touched on how chemicals can disrupt our endocrine system and cause imbalances with things like our thyroid, which will affect menstrual cycles. And when you take into account, now I was born in good old 1976, the average age for a girl to start her periods in 1976 was about 14. These days, the average age for a girl to start her periods is about 11. Now that's only in a couple of generations. So a study by the Mayo Clinic, who of course are a highly respected research, a place for research, they reported that most skin conditions relate back to the use of products containing toxic chemicals. So that is worth thinking about if we're going to a specialist and they're giving us chemicals to get rid of our eczema. I mean, I could talk about all of them, but I just want to prioritise for you the main offenders so that you can take something out of this talk to be able to apply to your life.